Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Hare
Okay, Hare Krishna Brew,
Ram
please can you tell us, what
Hare
are the four
Hare,
regulative principles?
Thou shalt not eat meat, fish, eggs. Thou shalt not commit adultery or have illicit sex. Thou shalt not take intoxicants. Thou shalt not gamble.
Well done, mate.
See, bit rusty on those. That shows that I follow them because it's not like constantly on my mind. It's just natural, from my birth. I can say from my own experience, I've never broken any of those. I'm proud to say.
Never drunk tea?
No, I'm not into green tea. Different people.
Coca-Cola?
Okay, there's little skirmishes back and forth across the line, of the gray area. People have different opinions where to take the level of intoxicants. Like obviously, Gurudev would say no tea, coffee, anything that is a stimulant. But there are many Ayurvedic stimulants we can take which are bona fide, ashwagandha, shilajit, and so forth.
That's like medicine.
Well, I mean, you could argue that green tea, is also medicine.
Okay, but it's okay to take drugs and intoxicants for medicine, though, yeah?
Well, if you have a genuine medical condition, you can take some medicine for that, but it's not like we take marijuana and, say, okay, I need medicinal marijuana. It's like, I need to feel relaxed, so I'm going to take marijuana. That's not bona fide.
Okay, so what is banned under intoxication? You got
Anything that's alcoholic, hard drugs, caffeine.
marijuana.
Well, marijuana, anything that's classified as a drug, either a downer or an upper. It's like it's classified off, the chart.
What about gambling?
Gambling, there are many different forms of gambling. In the Mat, we follow very strict rules for this. We're not even supposed to do sports. Like when, sometimes we're playing soccer or something, then we get in big trouble because, they say it's anything that increases your Purush Bhav or your competitive spirit is not so beneficial. So sports even can be considered gambling. Even Prabhupada was not so into sports. But generally we think of gambling as, making and placing bets, or like the stock market. That's also considered gambling. We should basically live a simple, honest life. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said to maintain our lives, we can do any different type of business, but we should stay out of meat industry or stay out of the intoxication industry because these are very sinful. It's like very tamagun, very mode of ignorance. It pushes our consciousness down.
So if it's a game and somebody can win the game, then it's gambling. Is that?
Sadly, basically, yes. It's very sad. I mean, you could say the whole world's a game and everyone's playing different games with each other, but, so basically you try to follow the A grade, don't take hard drugs, don't take alcohol. If you have to take a chocolate bar and there's got a little bit of caffeine in it, okay, no problem. Like we don't take, including it in the meat category, we don't take things like red dal, carrots, garlic, onion, leeks, because these are also very much in the mode of ignorance. We follow these regulative principles so that we can purify our consciousness and engage in devotional services, because when we take these things, it immediately pushes our consciousness down.
Okay, and about one more point about the gambling. You said the stock market is gambling, but couldn't you argue that that's just high-risk trading?
Well, that sounds like a good definition of it, but I mean, what is high-risk trading? I mean, you're gambling it's a high risk. High risk means gambling. You're making a gamble thinking you'll get...
All businesses have to take risks, right?
Well, if you're a manual laborer, you get an hourly wage, that's not really high risk. That's an honest, good job, Or if you're a skilled laborer... No, but if you're a skilled laborer, or if you're, any type of artisan, a craftsman, or even a Vaishya, if you have a business, that's not necessarily gambling.
Well, Vaishyas take risks, though, don't they? Vaishyas take risks.
Yeah, of course you take risks, but it's not the same as like betting on the stock market. Like, I don't know, I don't have self-realization on what is exactly gambling or not gambling. I know that I get in trouble for playing sports sometimes, and it's really a very difficult narrative for me to give up because I love sports.
So what we done? We did meat eating, we did intoxication, we did gambling, illicit sex.
Yeah, so illicit sex means anything that is not for the propagation of Krishna conscious children. We see the duty of, like the Lord in the Bible, he told Adam and Eve, now propagate, continue on, be Prajapatis basically. So if you're being a Prajapati, that's dharmic. You should have sex to have Krishna conscious, God conscious children. And if you're doing anything that's self-mutilation or damaging to yourself, that's illicit sex. If you're doing anything with anything that is harmful to the self or to others, which is because this is God's energy. That the sex potency is the energy of God. It's given by God. It's Shakti. It's condensed essence, ojas. And that is meant for serving God. So Krishna says, I am sex life, which is according to the religious principles. It's not that it's bad. It's not saying it's something evil or taboo, but it should be used for the correct purpose. Like we see, devotees who have 6, 10, 12 children, all their children, they're giving Krishna conscious principles. That's very laudable. It's very commendable. We see Bhaktivinoda Thakur had so many children.
So is contraception okay or not okay?
That's illicit sex.
Okay.
If you're going through the sex act without intending to have a child, if it doesn't work out, that's too bad, but at least you did your best.
So if you're a boyfriend, girlfriend couple, and you're trying to have a baby, is that okay, or do you have to be married?
According to Vedic principles, you should first be married before having any coitus.
Okay. And gay sex?
Yeah, it's all no. You can, we're not saying, you can't, Kali Yuga is a very sinful age. You can do it, but you shouldn't say it's bona fide. Don't put your gay pride flag, on your Facebook wall, okay? It's just like, no, okay? If you want to do the do, and go against Sastra, then, do it and, take responsibility for your own sins. But don't put it like a mark on your forehead saying this is who I am. And you can do anything you want. It's a free world. But Krishna and our acharyas, they teach us the proper codes of religious life that can help us have a platform of spiritual life where we can progress from.
Okay. Masturbation? No. Okay. So why do we follow these 4 regulative principles?
We follow the simplest answers because they told us to.
Come on, dude.
Because it helps us we can become a real human being. If we're not following these, we're like animals. The Sastra says that animals are engaged with no restrictions in their life. Real human life means to be an Arya. Arya means that you are following the codes of scripture or religious life so that you can make a good society for the propagation of spiritual values and the welfare of everyone. But we see society becomes more and more degraded, then everyone suffers. All the problems and the ills of society are because people are becoming more and more into the lower modes of nature, tamagun, because of their activities, because of illicit sex, unwanted progeny, or gambling. They become, all these 4 regs, they break one of the pillars of Dharma. The 4 pillars of Dharma, Satya, Soch, to have truth. Truth is destroyed by gambling, they say. Or cleanliness is destroyed by illicit sex. And compassion is destroyed by meat eating, and then the 4th one, intoxication, destroys, what's the 4th one? Come on, to test here.
I just forgot you caught me on the I think it's intelligence.
So it's not. These, anyway, the 4 pillars of Dharma.
Truth, mercy, cleanliness, and, Jesus Christ.
Anyway, the point is that Dharma is destroyed by breaking the 4 regulative principles. We see in the Bhagavatam that Kali was cutting or attacking the legs of the bull who represents Dharma, and only one was left, which was truth, and even that he was attacking. And Parikshit Maharaj came and he was about to kill him. So the point is that in Kali Yuga, all these pillars of proper society are being destroyed by the influence of Kali Maharaj and his agents, the cultural Marxists, or whatever you want to call them.
And what happens if you break the regulative principles? Will you get punished by karma?
Karma means we get an action. For every action we get a reaction. So we don't get punished by anyone. We punish ourselves. It says that the jiva, when he turns away from his true nature as a soul, that means when we are turning away from our real nature of our soul, then we are punished by our own actions. We are covered by the gross and subtle bodies, and then we suffer as a result for our actions. So if we're eating meat, then Gurudev would say meat means masa. Ma means myself, and sa means the others. So ma, sa means sama. That which we eat will come back to eat us. So, if we are always killing others, all religions have this principle of ahimsa. Don't harm others unnecessarily. Like there's one thing is in Dharma, if there's like something which like Krishna told Arjuna to fight, that's not ahimsa. It actually is ahimsa. Vaishnavas, we were just talking about this the other day. What is real ahimsa? So Prabhuji was saying that actually you cannot harm the soul. The soul is impervious to all these different things. However, if you're envious and selfish and you want to enjoy others and take away their freedoms, then that's hingsa, it's violence. But if you're helping others, then that's ahimsa. So it's not like, we're completely against violence in the use of religion, if that has to be there. But the point is that we don't kill others for our own ends, because naturally we will suffer as a result. In the same way, if we are harming others through gambling, we're also harming ourselves, harming our own soul. So a reaction will come for that. So, basically, we try to avoid these things because, these are all Vaidhi, rules and regulations. Now, on the other hand, with Raganuga Bhakti, I was just reading just yesterday, or studying this class Prabhuji was speaking on, about Radharasa Diniti. He said, even if a person has all bad qualities, all types of sins and all offenses, if he is the lowest of the low, but he is always chanting and absorbed in Radharani's names and has real spiritual greed to be her servant, then Krishna will at once wipe the whole slate of all their sins and offenses. Everything will be wiped clean, and Krishna will help them, will guide them, will hold their hand and lead them forward.
Okay, thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.